You hatch from an egg, somewhere in the forests of northern Europe, and you're the only chick in the nest. Your eyes haven't opened yet, so you push toward the edge of the nest with your wings flat against the bark, trying to find something solid to press against. A few days pass, and then your eyes open for the first time. Your mother is standing on the rim of the nest with a piece of wasp comb in her beak, still dripping with grubs, and she drops it in front of you. You push your beak into it and swallow what you can reach, tearing small pieces loose with your head and pulling them down. Then she leaves again, dropping off the edge of the nest and disappearing below the branches. A crow lands on a branch just above the nest and looks down at you. It takes one step closer along the branch, then another, with its body leaning forward and its eyes fixed on you. You can't do anything but press flat against the bottom of the nest and wait. Then your mother comes back fast, rising up from below with her wings spread wide, and she drives straight into the crow with her feet forward, knocking it off the branch. The crow drops, catches itself, and flies off through the trees without looking back. Your mother lands on the rim again and stands over you. She stays there for a long time before she moves to the side and starts pulling the comb apart with her beak, pushing pieces toward you one at a time. You eat everything she gives you. The nest is the only place you know, but you've already seen what's waiting just outside it, and it isn't going to leave you alone for long. You're 6 weeks old now, and your wings are big enough to use. You've been watching your mother drop off the edge of the nest and rise back up through the trees for days, so you move to the rim and push off. You clear the nest, but lose control straight away, dropping fast with your wings too wide, and you crash into a branch below with your chest hitting the bark hard. You climb back up to the rim, reset, and push off again. This time you stay up long enough to follow her. She leads you down through the trees and lands on a patch of open ground, then starts tearing at the earth with her feet, pulling chunks of soil back in long raking motions. Under the surface is a wasp nest, a wide comb packed with grubs, and she rips the whole top section free and begins eating. You watch exactly how she does it, the angle of her feet, the way she pulls back and away, so you move in beside her and push your beak down into the comb. That's when the wasps come up. They cover your face fast, pressing into your feathers and driving their stingers forward. But your face is covered in short, tight scales that sit too close together for a stinger to get through, so the wasps push harder and nothing happens. You keep eating. Then your mother pulls the comb free from the ground and carries it up into the trees, and you follow her back to the nest. You ate today, but you didn't dig. You watched her do every part of it, and you got close, but the technique isn't there yet. Soon she'll stop coming back to the nest with food, and when that happens, you'll need to open one of those nests yourself. You're 3 months old now, and your mother has stopped coming back to the nest. You need to eat, so you drop out of the trees and start searching the ground on your own for the first time. You find a wasp nest in the ground after a while, with wasps moving in and out of a small hole in the soil. You need to get to the comb inside, so you start digging with your feet the way you watched your mother do it, raking the soil back and pulling at the edges of the hole. But your angle is wrong, and the hole keeps collapsing back in on itself, so the wasps pour out and cover your face and wings. Your scales stop the stingers, but the wasps keep coming. So you step back and wait for them to settle, then try again. The hole collapses a second time, so you step back again and give up on it completely. 2 days pass, and you eat almost nothing. Then, while working along the base of a fallen log, you find a bumblebee nest tucked under the bark with only a thin layer of wood over the top of it. You need something you can actually break into, and this is it, so you dig your talons into the bark and pull it away in pieces until the comb is open in front of you. The bumblebees push back, but there aren't enough of them to stop you, so you eat everything inside. That's your first solo meal. It's small, and it took 2 days to find, but you got it open with the right technique for the right kind of nest. The wasp nest in the ground needs a different approach, and you haven't worked that out yet, but you'll keep finding nests, and eventually one of them will teach you how. Skip forward a bit, and you're 5 months old now. Something has changed in your body and you can't stay still. You keep moving to the edge of your territory and looking south, then turning back, then moving to the edge again. After a few days of this, you stop turning back. You leave the forest and head south on your own for the first time. You rise up above the trees and find a column of air that's pushing upward, so you spread your wings and let it carry you in a wide circle, going higher with each loop without flapping once. That's how you cover distance without burning through your energy. You ride one column until it runs out, then find the next one and do it again, moving south the whole time. But then, the trees below you disappear, and the ground opens up into a flat, open stretch with no cover and no columns of rising air. You need to keep moving, so you start flapping, pushing yourself forward with your wings working hard and your body dropping lower with every minute. By the time the ground below you starts to show trees again, your wings are heavy, and you drop into the branches and stay there for a while before pushing on. A few days later, you cross into West Africa and drop into a patch of forest. But before you can find anything to eat, a larger honey buzzard that's already in the trees drops from a branch above you and drives straight into your side with its feet, knocking you sideways through the branches. You need to get away, so you push hard through the trees and go deeper into the forest until the other bird stops following. You made it across, but the forest here belongs to someone else. You'll need to find your own space, and you'll need to eat while you do it. You're 1 year old now, and the African dry season has made finding food a lot harder. The wasp nests you do find are either picked over already or defended by something bigger than you, so you need a different way to eat. One afternoon, you spot a mongoose working along the base of a tree, with its front claws pulling at the leaf litter and turning over loose bark as it goes. You need to eat, and it's clearly finding things, so you drop out of the trees and follow a few steps behind it, watching where it digs. The mongoose turns and snaps its jaws at you, so you step back and let it refocus on the ground, then move in behind it again. It pulls a section of bark away from a rotting log and a cluster of fat grubs spills out onto the ground. More than it can take at once, so you move in fast and take the ones closest to you before it can react. The mongoose snaps at you a second time, but you're already back on your feet with the grubs down and your eyes on the log. You follow it for the rest of the afternoon, taking what spills out and stepping back each time it turns, until it moves into the undergrowth and you lose it. That's the most you've eaten in days. That's when something clicks. You don't always have to find the food yourself. Other animals dig it up, break it open, and pull it out, and if you stay close and time it right, you can take your share before they even notice. You've been thinking like a digger, but out here, thinking like a thief keeps you fed, and there's a whole dry season still ahead of you. You're 2 years old now, and something has changed. You've made the migration back north, and you're in Central Europe for the first time as a fully grown adult, ready to hold territory and breed. You need a mate, so you rise up above the trees and start your display. You climb high, then tip your wings up into a V shape and drop, then climb again, over and over, with your wings held wide and your body rocking side to side on each rise. Another honey buzzard comes up from the trees below and circles near you, watching. You drop down beside it and land on a branch a short distance away, and it stays. That's enough. You've found your mate. The two of you pick a tall beech tree and start building on top of an old nest that's already there, adding fresh sticks and green leaves across the top until the base is solid enough to hold eggs. Then, a few days after the nest is done, a hobby falcon starts making passes overhead, dropping low over the nest on each loop and pulling up just before the branches. It's testing whether you'll move, so you launch off the nest and go straight at it with your feet forward. It veers away but comes back around, so your mate launches from the other side and cuts across its path. The falcon pulls up, circles wide once, and then carries on past the tree and doesn't come back. A few days later, the eggs arrive, 2 of them sitting in the center of the nest. You take turns standing over them and going out to find food, swapping places through the day and returning with comb each time. You've never had anything worth defending before, but now you do, and anything that comes close is going to find out very quickly that you won't move. You're 3 years old now, and the chick in the nest needs feeding every day. You leave the nest each morning with one job: find a wasp nest and bring comb back before your mate needs to leave for its own turn. You've got the full technique now. You watch wasp flight lines from a branch above the ground, tracking which direction they come from and where they go back to, until the lines all point to the same spot in the earth. Then you drop down, dig with your feet in long raking pulls, and tear the top of the nest free in sections with your beak, working fast before the colony gets a chance to build up around you. You roll the comb up and carry it back in your beak without dropping it, even on the long climb back up through the trees to the nest. One afternoon, you find a large nest with thick comb visible just below the surface, so you land and start digging. But a red kite is already circling above it, with its forked tail tilting side to side as it drops lower with each pass. You keep digging. The kite drops all the way and hits you from above with its feet, knocking you sideways off the nest entrance and sending you stumbling across the ground. You get back up, turn to face the kite, and go straight at it with your wings spread and your feet forward. The kite pulls sideways to avoid you and rises back up into the trees without pressing the attack again. You go back to the nest, pull the largest section of comb free, and carry it back up to the branches. You got what you came for, but the kite will be back tomorrow, and the chick is going to need just as much then as it did today. You're 4 years old now, and migration has started again. You've been flying south for 2 days, riding thermals down through Europe with your body covering ground the same way it always has. Wide circles on rising air, then glide, then find the next column and rise again. You're crossing a wide stretch of open land with no trees below when a peregrine falcon locks onto you from above. You see it fold its wings and drop, so you pull your own wings in and try to angle down toward the tree line ahead, pushing yourself forward to close the distance before it reaches you. But the falcon is already too fast. The first strike hits you across the back with the falcon's feet driving into your body, knocking you sideways and spinning your wings out of line. You correct and keep going, pushing hard for the trees. But the falcon pulls up, loops, and comes back before you cover half the distance. You try to turn and face it with your feet forward, the same move that worked on the kite, but the falcon doesn't slow down or pull away. The second strike hits you clean across the spine with the full force of the dive behind it, and your wings stop working together. One stays out, and one folds. So your body rolls, and you go into a spiral with the trees still a long way below you. You go through the top branches and drop through the layers beneath them, with smaller branches breaking your fall in stages until you hit the ground on your side and stop moving. The peregrine doesn't follow you down. It pulls up above the trees, circles once, and flies on. You've crossed oceans, raised a chick, and fought off birds twice your speed. But out here, 1 bad second is all it takes.